Hello and welcome to another episode of InfoScope. I'm your host, Hannah Kim. Let's first start with some stories that are trending in the IT and science worlds. Recently, a teenage girl in Singapore became the recipient of a large scholarship courtesy of a foundation established by Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. She won a competition where students had to create an original video explaining a challenging theory in science or mathematics in simple terms. We'll take a look at what type of video content she created in just a moment. And in health-related news, phantom pain refers to the pain that continues after a limb amputation, but a recent clinical trial showed that phantom pain can be reduced through therapy with augmented reality. Here's some more details on this coming up on Briefing Scope. Researchers from Sweden's Clammerts University of Technology announced the results of a clinical trial for amputees suffering from chronic phantom pain. They used augmented reality to stimulate the missing limb, and patients were reported to experience 32% less pain. The researchers believe that the part of the brain that was connected to the missing limb was stimulated, leading to lesser pain. 17-year-old Deanna C. from Singapore's Raffles Institute was named one of the 2 winners of the Breakthrough Junior Challenge, a competition that involves creating original videos explaining challenging mathematical or scientific concepts. C created a video titled Superbugs and Our Race Against Resistance to explain superbugs and use props like Lego figurines. The winner of this highly creative competition also received $250,000 in scholarships. That is amazing, and she must be very proud of her achievements. Congratulations once again. Now moving on to the next part of the show, Korea has suffered from a record cold snap this year. Without any indoor heating, it is extremely difficult to pull through the winter. Well, throughout history, Korean ancestors tackled the biting cold with the help of Ondol, the Korean traditional floor heating system. So today we're going to bring you the science behind Ondol. But before that, we have some interesting standardized test results. According to the OECD Program for International Student Assessment, girls outranked boys in mathematics and science in both the middle school and high school levels. In addition to that, there have been other noticeable changes in the overall rankings throughout the years. Take a look at this next video for more information. Here's Industry Inside.
The OECD Program for International Student Assessment revealed that Korean girls outranked boys in science and mathematics. Korean girls scored 528 points in math, beating boys by 7 points, and again in science by 10 points, and reading by 41 points. Until 2012, girls outperformed boys only in reading. The latest results are also different from the global average, in which boys have higher scores than girls by 8 points in math and 4 points in science. Korean students still rank near the top overall, but scores have fallen significantly compared to 3 years ago. When taking margin of error into consideration, Korean students ranked from 4th to 9th in reading, 6th to 9th in mathematics, and 9th to 14th in science this year. It is the first time that Korean students did not rank in the top 3 in any category since 2000. China and Japan outranked Korea in mathematics, unlike 3 years ago, and Vietnam and Canada outranked Korea in science. The significant rise in the percentage of the lowest-ranking students contributed to the drop in Korea's overall performance. Experts emphasize the need for tailored programs for understanding students, as the number of such students has risen due to educational policies that are trying to reduce academic burden. On the floor of this traditional house are large, flat stones. These stones are known as kudul, and are a key component of the Korean floor heating system, Ondol. When the furnace is fired up, the heat runs through the kudul and slowly rises up, warming the floor. This is how Ondol works. In contrast, a Western-style fireplace heats the air instead of the floor, so the distance from the fire determines the indoor temperature.
온돌은 이제 방안 전체를 갖다가 이렇게 열로서 가열하는 그런 복사 난방법이 되다 보니까 방 안의 온도를 전체적으로 고르게 데펴주는 그런 그 원리.
Ondol has a unique structure that helps maintain warmth even if the furnace is not relit. The heat generated by the furnace spreads through the stone slabs quickly, but the exit acts as a bottleneck, keeping the heat in.
그런 구조가 없다면 구들장 밑으로 이제 연기가 잘 침투하지 못하고 아궁이 밖으로 연기가 많이 새 나올 거라고 예상.
Ondol achieved its current form some 400 years ago during the Joseon dynasty and helped Koreans overcome the biting cold of winter. Researchers working on the Korea Space Launch Vehicle 2, or KSLV-2, initially set a goal to place a 1.5-ton working satellite at 600 to 800 kilometers above sea level by 2020. The satellite would be launched by a rocket equipped with 75-ton liquid rocket engines using a 7-ton liquid rocket engine. In order to ensure the capabilities of the 75-ton engine, a planned test launch was to take place in December of this year. However, instability in the combustion process and technical glitches in the development stage will push back the test launch date. The Korea Aerospace Research Institute reported the situation to the Ministry of Science, ICT, and Future Planning in May of last year, and the test launch was delayed by 10 months after further deliberation.
당초대로 2017년 12월에 시험발사 일정을 준수하기 위한 다양한 방안이 항공우주연구원과 전담평가단에 의해 검토가 되었으나 발사 실패 가능성이 높고 또 사고 위험성도 높아서 일정 조정이 불가피한 것으로 분석되었습니다.
The KSLV-2 was initially aiming for a test launch in 2018, but the Park Geun-hye administration rescheduled it to 2017. However, the government still intends to launch its working satellite mission by 2020. Even so, this will depend on whether the test launch is a success.
성공하면은 상당히 순조롭게 갈 수 있겠지만 실패하게 되면 2단계 시험 발사가 실패하게 되면 그 실패의 원인 분석이라든가 여러 가지 3단계에 관한데 필요한 기술적인 문제 해결 시간이 더 필요할 수도 있습니다. 3단계 최종 발사 일정은 추후 검토해야 될 예정입니다.
The satellite launch is linked to Korea's lunar exploration goals, making it all the more important that the test launch set for October 2018 succeeds.
Let's shift gear now a little and get to some new innovative technologies. When we take medicine, we need to make sure we stick to the prescribed dosage and schedule in order to get the best possible effect. But sometimes, and I know this happens to many of us, we forget to take the medication because we lose track of time or simply because we forget. Well, researchers have now developed a capsule that can provide 2 weeks' worth of dosage. I wonder how big that capsule will be, or will it even be a big pill? We have the answers for you shortly. But in other news, rheumatoid arthritis is a chronic inflammatory disorder that affects your joints, leading to painful swelling, bone erosion, as well as joint deformity. At the moment, there is no way to completely treat the disorder, but Korean researchers have found a key cause that may lead to a cure. Let's take a closer look at this now on Take a Peek.
This is a rheumatoid arthritis patient in her 60s. Her knees are in so much pain that she cannot walk, and her finger joints are swollen.
약은 많이씩 먹으면서도 계속 그게 기본적인 치료가 안 되면서 계속 붓더라고요.
There are more than 500,000 patients suffering from rheumatoid arthritis in Korea. Symptoms repeatedly get worse and better, and there is no cure. However, a team of Korean researchers has found out why the symptoms continue, making a cure possible. The cause lies in the synovial cells, which make up the joints. Unlike those in normal joints, the synovial cells in rheumatoid arthritis patients proliferate like cancer cells and constantly attack the bones and joints. The researchers found that when MIF proteins, which are generated by the synovial cells and act as controllers of the immune response, combine with synovial cells, a type of MIF protein receptor named CD44 became aggressive and damaged the joints. The continuous autoactivation of synovial cells and joint damage is believed to be the main cause of rheumatoid arthritis.
MIF, CD44라는 그런 두 단백질의 상호작용 결과 활막세포가 흥분하고 비정상적으로 증식하고 뼈와 연골 파괴를 주도한다. MIF와 CD44 상호작용이라는 게 특정 유전자를 갖고 있는 사람들에게 특히 강하게 나타나는 걸 저희들이 알게 되었습니다.
The researchers stated that based on their research, it is possible to develop a cure for rheumatoid arthritis. The research and its results were published in the scientific journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America. Oral medications must be consumed regularly because they pass through the stomach quickly and lose their effectiveness after a certain amount of time has passed. However, it's not always easy to follow the schedule, and at times we even forget completely.
So, the biggest issue with taking medication is that folks just don't take their medication. And in fact, only about 50% of folks actually take their medication as prescribed.
A team of researchers in the United States has developed a capsule to solve this problem. The capsule holds the medication, which consists of 6 arms. When stomach acid dissolves the capsule, the arms unfold to form a star shape. This star is big enough to resist being pushed into the digestive tract, but small enough to ensure there is no blockage.
To overcome this, we developed a novel star-shaped system that has both the dimensions and mechanical properties to resist passage out of the stomach.
It can also resist being pushed down by incoming food. Should the capsule be commercialized, it will help reduce the inconvenience of taking medications regularly, especially for the elderly patients. High-performance plastics are used for automobile or airplane parts, smartphones, or any other high-value product. The high-performance plastics market, which is currently worth $51 million, is expected to grow by 8.2% each year. However, many have criticized the manufacturing process as it uses petrochemicals and releases a significant amount of pollutants. Now, Korean researchers have developed an eco-friendly way to develop high-performance plastics by using fat and microorganisms extracted from marine algae to significantly reduce the emissions of harmful materials. The researchers extracted fat from dry algae by triggering a microbial reaction and use enzymes from lactic acid bacteria to trigger a reaction, thereby creating high-performance plastic components. Another advantage of this process is that it can take place at room temperature and standard pressure.
기존 공정은 고온 고압이라든가 또는 강산화제가 사용되는 공정들인데 에너지 부분이라든가 또는 환경 위해 요소 발생 부분이 굉장히 적은 걸로 평가되고 있습니다.
This process can also make marine plants a more attractive product and resource and boost their marketability.
상품 가치가 떨어지는 그런 김미역 이런 갈조류 또는 녹주류들을 원료로 사용하기 때문에 부산물이라든가 폐기물 활용 측면에서
The researchers plan to look for ways to promote this technology and make it more competitive on the market.
Don't you find it so interesting that the researchers found an eco-friendly way to make plastic using seaweed? And since the manufacturing process is quite safe for our environment, we can reduce the emissions of harmful materials. Hopefully, this will lead to the development of more eco-friendly technologies as well. Unfortunately, it's already time for me to say goodbye. Of course, we will be back next week with more from the IT and science worlds. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you here back next time. Goodbye, everyone.